Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second.
Hello, what happened? What happened?
No, I got disconnected. My computer, if you saw me going for, I was looking for my charger and my computer just
Oh,
turned off.
okay.
Oh, he
Yeah.
died.
So sorry. Yes, it died, but I resuscitated. I'm back to life. So sorry, guys, for that small interruption. Yes, and obviously what you're
Don't
saying, Ati,
worry.
is very important. Obviously the power that they have, and obviously businesses are going to be businesses, and the most important thing for them is to obviously have profit and maybe just be a little careful about that. Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, Sophie, I think you're left.
Yeah, hi. So the last class I said as well, I would buy a company related to technology. I said maybe Google, but
Mhm.
now thinking, I consider that maybe Apple would be a good company, and something I would improve about them. I don't know if like how to say, because I know they have good quality, but for
Mhm.
example, things like the chargers, and they get what they say, that it's not damaged, right? It's another word. They get like broken very easily. The phones are also sometimes very delicate.
Mhm.
I would say more than other phones. So maybe I would improve like the quality in that part, and of course like make them more resistant.
Mhm.
But this thing called I don't know how to say it in English, obsolescencia programada.
I got it.
That
Yes.
they make products to not last forever. Of course, I don't want that, because that won't be profitable for the company.
Mhm.
But make them maybe more, I don't know, give them more lifetime, not forever but more.
Yeah, that's true. And the concept you're looking for is planned obsolescence. That's something that I was going to talk about. Yes, obviously Apple and many manufacturers, it's something that they've been criticized. Is obviously their devices are very exclusive, expensive. But obviously when I change the version, and that happens, an example, I have an iPhone SE, and then I want to buy an iPhone, let's say 11, and then obviously I have to have a separate charger, I have to have different cables, I have to have different things, and people don't consider that to be fair. Because an example, one thing that happens by having so many chargers, so many cables, is actually we are contributing to also having a lot of pollution and a lot of waste. Because obviously, I don't know if it happens to you. If I look in my drawer in my bedroom, I have at least 7 different chargers, a charger that I had from each cell phone that I had before, a charger that I have for a tablet, a charger that I have for a speaker. So that's something that also some companies are trying to fix, or trying to work a little bit on the solution of that thing that is planned obsolescence, where I built something with a lifespan that I already know how much it's going to last. So this phone, I'm going to make it for, let's say, 2 years. And before, if we think about the phones that we used to use, maybe they were a little more durable. An example, the Nokia 1100, the Arrow, the Flechita is one cell phone that you could do anything to it and nothing would happen. But in this moment, phones have better technology, better processing power, better cameras, but they are, like Sophie saying, a little more delicate, and I have to be a little more careful with them. And obviously the price, because example, you're talking about Apple products, they are not cheap. To own any Apple product is to have an investment in it. And obviously some people like to have like the same brands of products. So instead of buying an Apple phone, they have an iPad, they have an iMac. So because of the quality of the companies. But that is something that maybe also people are trying to, or beginning to start to regulate. Because obviously the consumers are the ones that are being affected, because they're being forced to change their products, to renew their products, when they don't necessarily have to do it. An example, if you take care of your cell phone, and if your cell phone, and you can use it perfectly and it lasts 3 or 4 years, that's wonderful, because I think you are taking advantage or using it as much as you can. But if you have to change a cell phone every year, one year because of the battery, the next year because you don't have the cable, or maybe the next year because there's a new camera, and as new versions of cell phones come out, I don't know if there's a lot more that we can improve. Obviously there's technology that hasn't been discovered, that hasn't been used yet, but basically we have a cell phone to talk, to look at our social media, to go online, to take pictures, and to communicate with whoever we want to communicate. And obviously in the future they're thinking about nanotechnology and having a cell phone on my wrist, or having like phones that I can fold, in this moment that exist, but that can be, transformed in different ways, or like holographic phones. So, obviously that's more in the future, but the concept that you are talking about, that type of obsolescence, when I have to, think about what I'm going to do to change my cell phone, not because I want to, but because I have to. Or also the thing about having so many accessories, chargers, that maybe, and some of them I don't use them anymore. I think that I was reading an article a couple of days ago that I think in Europe, they were starting to look at the regulations of having like one charger for everything, like a charger that could accept any type of phone. And obviously, so people could only have one device, because obviously it depends on the brand, or the device that we have to use a different charger, a different plug. So I think it's something maybe important to consider. So excellent job, Sophie. Very well done. Okay, I think I got everybody. Yes, everybody said their ideas. Very well done, guys. So before we finish, guys, I want to congratulate you on your excellent work. Sorry for the small disconnection, but thank you for thinking a little bit, outside the box. Thinking of different strategies, different things, different likes, or different preferences that I have. And sometimes this topic is very important to maybe discuss a little bit about, just interconnect them with, other topics that we've been talking about. And I want to give you guys a small explanation or something before we leave. In the first question, I asked, I said you were, and you guys answered if I were. That is correct. It's just that that is a special form of grammar that we use in English, because generally I say I was, but the difference between using I were and I was is I use I were in this case when we are talking about hypothetical situations and using a conditional. So an example, if I were this, if I had that, usually I use the past. And that is something that is the second conditional. If you guys ever want to, check about it or the grammar, the second conditional is when I talk about hypothetical situations and I use. The part that has if is in the simple past, and the part that has the result is using would. So one of the ways that we can accommodate a little bit the grammar is that in normal conversational English and also in written English, it is considered correct to use I were instead of I was, because some people consider using I was in those type of hypothetical or conditional situations to be maybe thinking about something in the past. And here I'm thinking more of if something happened, thinking a little bit more in the future. So if you guys ever have these type of conditionals, and just in case, okay, I prefer to speak a little different, and I say if I was a billionaire, would that be incorrect? No, it wouldn't be incorrect, because you're using the correct grammar in the past. But I just wanted to explain why, in those hypothetical situations, there would be no problem with using I were, because it doesn't sound, like right, but it is right when we have those type of situations. Okay, so I just wanted to give you that short explanation before we finish. Guys, excellent
Yeah,
work.
thanks.
Does anybody have any questions or comments before we wrap up?
No, thank you. When I had,
No.
I wanted to ask you that, so thank you. I
Okay.
was not sure if I was incorrect
Yeah.
because I heard that I were
Hmm.
from many.
Yeah.
I know that
from-
because, sorry, I know that because Beyonce has a song. The name is If I Were a Boy. And that is the reason that I know that that's the correct too.
Wonderful.
Oh, Lupe.
From today on,
Sorry.
Lupita is going to be Lupita Knowles or Beyonce
Beyond.
Lupita.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Guadalupe
my
Beyonce.
lesson. No, 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 no. It's better, Selena, when you say that. No, no, no. No, no, but sometimes you can learn by the songs.
Of course, that's
Yeah.
yes. Music
Mhm.
is one of the most important ways to learn any language. 100% true. Okay,
But
guys,
thank you that.
thank you so
Thank you,
much for
Juanda.
being in the class. Have a wonderful
Thank
day.
you.
See you next
Bye
class.
bye.
Bye. Have a
Bye,
great
guys.
Thank
day.
you.
Bye.
Wonderful.
Bye bye.
Bye.